Okay, in this video we're going to make our pop can, and to do that we're going to first start off with a part file, and we're going to do a 2D sketch, and we're going to pick the X, Y plane, so we're looking at the side of the can. We do not want to be looking down at the top of the can, so I'm going to click that plane, and I'm going to start off with a rectangle. What we need to do is draw the maximum width of the can, which is 2.59 inches, and make the can 4.83 inches tall. So I'm going to draw a rectangle with those dimensions. Okay. The next step here is to make a diagonal line down here at the bottom. We're going to do this corner here. And this drawing here shows it a little curvy. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to use a simple straight line. So I'm going to draw a straight line going from one line to the other, and I'm going to use the dimension tool. I'm going to tell the computer here I want this corner and this corner to be 0.18 inches apart, and this corner and this corner to be 0.32 inches apart. That puts a little angle on that corner. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we want to use the arc tool. And we're going to make the bottom of the can curved. So I'm going to pick not right on the corner here, but a little bit next to it. I'm going to click, and I'm going to go over along the bottom of the rectangle I made, and I'm going to click close to the other side. And what I want to do is I want to move the mouse up until I get a little dashed line going left to right that you see there. And I'll click because I want the top of this curve to line up with this corner right here. I'll need to put some measurements in. So between this corner and this corner, I want that to be 0.04 inches. And over here, between this corner and this corner, I want that to be 0.22 inches. Okay, and we need to put a measurement over here because we want to make sure that this arc is centered in the middle of the rectangle. So we want the same amount of space. And the reason I didn't put a diagonal line over on this right side is because we're actually going to cut off half of this object that we're making. So I don't need to draw everything. But I do need this measurement to make sure that this is the same distance here as over here. So we need to have those two measurements. Okay, so the bottom is made. So we're going to go up to the top now, and we will make this little lip that goes around the top of the can. And to make that little lip, we're going to make a rectangle, and I don't want to go in the corner. I'm going to go off to the side of it a little bit of my first rectangle. I'm going to make a second one here. This one should be 2.16 inches wide and 0.09 inches tall. And what I want to do is I want to center this little rectangle I just made inside of the bigger one that's there. And to do that, I'm going to do a little bit of math here. I'm going to tell the computer from this line to this line, I want to measure and make a certain distance. Well, I don't know what the center is. I don't know what measurement to put. But with a little bit of math, we can figure that out. So what I need to know is there's a distance over on this side that I need to measure, and also there's a space, a distance over on this side of the rectangle that they'll be. Well, they should be equal. So what I need to do is take the difference between this measurement and this measurement, and I need to put that in, and make sure you put that in parentheses. So it calculates that first, just like in math class. Okay, and then I need to divide that difference in half. So it spreads that number that equates. So 2.59 minus 2.16, it divides that number into 2. So we get 2 equal measurements on either side, which then makes that box centered, that rectangle we drew to make the lip. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here in this corner. That's right here. And I'm going to go over and I'm going to draw a line up and down, just somewhere right here. And I want that line, before I draw that, let me zoom out so I can see my measurements. I'm going to draw that line. I'm going to make that line 0.08 inches. And then it's going to come out. And I'm just going to draw a diagonal line. And I need to put some measurements to make sure that these are in the right spot. So what I want to do here is I want to measure from the side of the large rectangle to this corner I just made. I want to make sure that that is 0.24 inches. Okay, it's going to make just a little lip. You'll see what that does here when we revolve this shape. That's what we're going to do. Okay. The next thing I need is for these two corners, these two here, to be in 1/2 inch from each other. Okay. And again, we're just simplifying the shape. It does have some curves in here, like right here, but we're going to just keep it simple. Okay. I think that is it for making the curved part at the top of the can. So once we have those measurements in, then we can go ahead and trim some of these lines away. So what I'll want to trim away so that it can make the shape is I want to trim this line and this line away. Okay. And your measurement might go goofy, but as long as it stays the same, like this one kind of went up at an angle, as long as it stays 2.59, that should be okay. Let me make sure. The lines, I think, moved. Okay, so let's not delete that line right this moment. Let's not trim it. We'll go back and we'll get that. We're going to go down at the bottom and trim these away here. We can get rid of these two. And then this one that's underneath the arc, we can get rid of that. We can get rid of some of those lines. Okay, I think we might be able to just leave this one. All right, I'm going to draw a line through the center because we're going to get rid of half of this shape. So I'm going to use the line tool, and if you go up here, the top, very top line, get that green dot, that's the middle. You go down to the bottom and make sure your line is going down, straight down. Click. And we're going to make a line that divides it in half. And I'm going to use the trim tool again. And I'm going to trim these. And I'll go down to the bottom. Trim that half. And then once the shape, this right half is detached from the left half, we could just delete the rest of these. So I'm just going to take these and delete them. And I think we can not extrude, but revolve this. And it should take the shape that we drew. So I'm going to finish the sketch. And let me just check and make sure. Yeah, it looks like we can do it. So I'm going to click the revolve tool now. And I need to click the surfaces that I want to make circular. So we have two. One, that lip at the top, and two. And I'll need to click this arrow here to tell it what axis we want to revolve around, which is going to be this line here. And what that did was it took that shape and wrapped it around 360 degrees and made a 3D object out of it. And if we look at it from the side, we'll see we have our little lip here, and we have this little flat part. So everything looks like it turned out. If I look at the bottom of the can, it's got a little curved part. It's kind of hard to tell with the coloring. Gray doesn't really show it very well, but it is curved up like a real can. So the last thing we need to do is make this top surface not flat, because right now if we look at it, it's just flat. We want to have it go in a little bit. So I'm going to use the sketch tool, and I'm going to sketch on the top, and I'm going to make a circle that is, I believe, 2 inches wide. So I just clicked right on the origin. That should be right in the center. And we're going to make a little lip there. It'll be between these two lines. And I want to extrude this. And let me go back to my drawing here. I believe I want to extrude this 0.09 inches. So okay, and then once you're done, you'll have a little lip here along the top, and it goes down to be on the surface. So it's not the exact dimensions of a real can, but it's going to work for what we're doing. So that's how you make your pop can, and then we'll show you how to put on your label.